we're loving and hating and making scenes. Now we just see everything we believe.
Yo, what's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy J Muddy here. How's it going? Not too long ago, I just got out of the VIP qualifier tournament. For those of you who don't know what VIP qualifiers are, it is essentially some of these special tournaments held from time to time at your local game shop, and the winner gets all kinds of things like VIP water, kind of all kinds of perks. I forgot what they were, but I know the winner gets 2 free buys at the next YCS, which is, for me, I wanted to get to the first 2 rounds being buys at YCS Fort Worth. So I barely got knocked out of top 8, so that's pretty unfortunate. So with this being said, let's go ahead and just talk about the state of the game and the current meta right now, where everybody's minds are at right now. So there's about 10 Sky Strikers there at that local. About 10 of them things. That's a huge number. It's a big deal. There's a lot of Striker. There's about 4 Orcus. I was one of them. There's actually a handful of Salamangreat. I think there was like 1 Thunder Dragon. And so people were definitely bringing their A game to this. There's quite a bit of people there. It was pretty good. So what is the state of the game looking like? What's going on? So, we're in this state to where people's mindsets people are really have this big disdain towards Orcus. Everybody is playing, every deck that people are playing, even their side decks, they all have Orcus in mind. Now, they also have Striker in mind because those are the 2 decks that people are really preparing for. You either need to prepare for Orcus or you need to prepare for Striker. If you can do both, then more power to you, but oftentimes you have to over-prepare for one over the other, depending on the deck you are playing. So what we have going on here is a lot of people don't like Orcus. There's a lot more Orcus. And for obvious reason, the Megaton promos, Megaton promos were basically the cause for a lot of people playing Orcus. You don't really see Guard Dragon decks really running around anymore, outside of maybe Pendulums. There wasn't even a single Pendulum player there. So why are people all of a sudden just really, really angry about Orcus? Why are everybody wanting Mermaid Band and things like that? Well, because the representation of Orcus went up for obvious reasons. Because of the Megaton's promo's pure existence, people have flocked away from the other combo decks and just went straight to Orcus, because Orcus is the deck that can play around the Megaton promos the most. Very, very easily. And for one reason only, it's because of Babel and Dingirsu. I played locals twice. I was really going to go to Lubbock. But after I decided what deck I was going to play, it was already 1 o'clock in the morning. And we needed to leave for Lubbock at 3:30 in the morning. And there was no way we were making that 5-hour drive with 2 hours of sleep. No way that was happening. So, we decided not to. But I was really, really wanting to take Orcus to that Lubbock Regional. And the thing that really dissuaded me from playing Orcus was the fact that everybody was preparing for Orcus, and even over preparing for Orcus at times. I felt going into that regional, people were going to be over prepared for Orcus, so I decided to try to take Pendulums there instead. Because if you prepare for Orcus, then you're not prepared for the Pendulum matchup. And plus, Pendulum has a very naturally good matchup against Sky Strikers, which was an educated decision on my part. But Lubbock Regionals included, and there was a lot of Orcus in the top 8. So maybe I could have gotten away with taking Orcus there. Probably could have got my first top 8. That would have been great. But anyway, That's the reason a lot of people play an Orcus, because the other combo decks won't cut it because of these 10 promos. Orcus are really good versus these promo cards because, again, you have Nibiru, who cares? I have Babel. You have Dark Ruler No More, who cares? I have Babel. You have Dimension Shifter, who cares? I have Babel. Dimension Shifter's actually gotten played a lot more in the past couple weeks. Just yesterday, being Saturday, I got hit with Dimension Shifter twice in a local. One being from a Thunder Dragon player who actually main decked the Dimension Shifters. He went first, dropped the Dimension Shifter, basically turned his whole deck into a Gold Sark. Did his little thing. And so I was still under Dimension Shifter, but it was okay because I'm playing Orcus. So I go into my Mermaid. I purposely discard my Harport or Sybil Skeleton. I forget, it was one of those two. I purposely discard an Orcus card, summon Orcus Nightmare from the deck, and link off the Nightmare, which it also gets banished, into a Galatea. Use Galatea, shuffle the Orcus I discarded, and set Babel from the deck. And then just slap Dingirsu down in defense and just attach the banished Orcus Nightmare and passed. And that's all I needed to do. Titan couldn't out my Babel because 1, Dingirsu had 2 materials. 2, after the first detach, I just kind of just banished Nightmare to block the Titan from activating its effect after they discarded things like Thunder Dragon and things like that. So, that was just, again, Orcus can just play through this stuff. You Nibiru me, and that's fine because I likely have Galatea's in grave already, and I likely still have Orchestrated Nightmare in grave, so I can then just go banish, summon Galatea, use the effect, set Babel again, and then immediately go and link and just slap Dingirsu down, attach a material, make another Galatea, or if I have any other extender, make Long Girsu and pass. And I can still be okay. Same thing with Dark Ruler No More. Yeah, you can Dark Ruler No More my board, my Dingirsu and stuff, but I have Babel on the board, so I can just play for my graveyard. If you kill Dingirsu, I'll just revive it and get more effects. And, I can then use Orchestrated Nightmare and then send Gizmic and then End-Phase Gizmic. It's like Orcus, man. Orcus can, has the easiest time against these Megaton promos. And that is what's causing a lot of players to play Orcus. And people are really disliking the fact that everybody is playing Orcus when in reality you can't really play other combo decks out there because the threat of those promos alone are too great. So that leaves a massive influx in Orcus, which also leaves an influx in Sky Strikers because more people probably move from combo decks to Sky Strikers. Not to mention, Sky Strikers is an incredibly cheap deck. Nobody wants to, who wants to play any other control deck in the game when every other control deck in the game that's not Sky Strikers will just lose to Sky Strikers? So may as well just play Sky Striker. So, again, there was 10 Sky Strikers in my VIP. I think the most represented 2 decks were Sky Striker and I think Salad. Salad could have been tied with Orcus, but that's where we're at right now. We're at a point to where people don't like Orcus and people are sick of Sky Strikers because tier 1 deck for 16 months. And people want Mermaid Gun and all that. People have this mindset now to where, in this attitude to where it's like, I'm either playing Orcus or I'm playing against Orcus. Insinuating that Orcus is absolutely everywhere. Now, granted, Orcus is a very strong deck, but it's still not winning. It's not winning those premier events. It's still Sky Strikers doing it. It's probably due to Mystic Mine, but that's a topic for a whole new another video. Mystic Mine just needs to be banned. But so what were my matchups? I played round 1. I played this Blue Eyes Guard Dragon deck, easy 2-0. Round 2, I played Sky Striker Invoked, lost to that in time, and got punched in the face a little bit, and kinda. That was to 1-2. Match number 3, I played against a Hero Orcus. Really, really good build, by the way. He makes Dark Law, does his Orcus combo, to where basically if you're playing Striker or Orcus, you are having a hard time because Dark Law kind of hurts both of those decks. Even if you're playing a deck like Salad, Dark Law is no joke, especially when there's Crescendos set with Dingirsu with multiple materials that they are still on board that can protect that Dark Law from destruction multiple times. So that's honestly pretty good. And he Isolded and Aqua Dolphin got to look at my hand, things like that. So, hand knowledge as well. And ripping cards like hand traps is pretty good. Round 4, I played Sky Striker. That's the one I was really tilted on. We lost that. I don't know. My locals, this is one of many locals. I'm not going to list out the locals by name, but the thing I don't really appreciate about this locals is when they start the timer. So what's going on is, when the next round starts, players, get their pairings and all that stuff. It's by call out essentially. And the moment they're done calling out the pairings, they immediately go to start the timer right then and there. So 2 minutes is a lot of the times for me when I go to that said locals is already lost. I lost 2 minutes because when they start that timer, me and my opponent barely have found each other. We barely have gotten situated and sat down, and we still need to take out our decks, take out our mats. We still need to shuffle, cut, roll the dice, and all that stuff. That takes a couple of minutes. And so that round 4 versus Striker, this match was decided in seconds, where all my opponent needed to do was resolve his last Horner drones, get his slash Striker, extra deck monster, and then in his turn. And all I needed to do was just draw and go attack because I had Dingirsu and Bomber Dragon, but time was up. There was 20 seconds on the clock when he was doing this, and I'm just like, wow, this 2 minutes has been wasted. I'm just like, I really wish they could wait 2 minutes before starting the clock, because when you're playing a combo deck, those last 2 minutes are like your most important minutes. There's no more important time in the match for a combo player than that last 5 minutes. The last 5 minutes is the most important time in the match if you are in game 3, or if you're just going into time because game 1 or 2 took that long. Either or. So I lost that because I lost that time that I just could not get back. That's the one thing that kind of rubs me the wrong way with the locals, is just when they start that clock. They start it too fast, and people haven't even really shuffled their decks yet. They haven't even sat down yet, and it's just, I feel like I lost a game in a match that I should not have lost. Period. And that cost me to get out of the top cut, which would lead me to fight for the VIP. 5th round, played against Lunalight Orcus, won against that. He does this little Lunalight thing. He does this outlandish combo with Curious. He sends Imperial Order, Nightmare Griffin, sets that. He has that on board with Galatea, Dingirsu, and all that stuff. He has Order and Crescendo set. I still managed to break the board because he let Miscellaneous Source go. He let it go, and that was basically what made him lose game 1. Because once he let that go, I had Overraptor in hand. I just basically got to Conductor Tyranno, dropped it, booked down his Dingirsu Inner Battle phase, and just went in. And that's how that worked. So anyway, game 2, I side 8 cards. He sees that and he makes me go first. Still Orcus combo him. It was over. But bottom line, it's just Orcus and Sky Strikers. Those seems to be the decks to beat. Those seems to be the decks that people prepare for. It's like you're either preparing for Striker, you're preparing for Orcus. You're not really prepared for anything else. Any other deck seems to be like a free space nowadays. If you're not playing Striker or Dingirsu, you're losing. That's what it really feels like. It feels like you have to play Striker or Orcus. It feels like you have to pick one of those two, and a lot of players want both of those decks hit for good reason. But again, Orcust wouldn't be played as much as it is had it not been for the tin promos forcing players to deviate from combo decks and just going to Orcust, because again, Orcust has the best chance against those promos because Babel and Dingirsu are cards. So that's what the state of the game is looking like right now. And I don't know what to say about it other than the fact that it can be just pretty stale all the time. So let me know what you guys' thoughts are in the comments below. Thank you guys very much for watching. This is J Money, and I am signing out.
Through the wastelands, through the highways.